Chelsea 6, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2. A brilliant afternoon for Noni Madueke, for Cole Palmer, Pedro Neto, João Felix, and Maresca. The second half was something to behold. Strong, well-organised, deadly, clinical. The second half display from Chelsea is without a shadow of a doubt the best performance I've seen from them as a football club in 2 to 3 years. It was majestic. We're going to delve into that in more detail for you. Hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribing. And a big shout out to our title sponsor, StocksFC. And based on some of today's performances, you need to start looking at some stocks that are out there. Here are all of today's performers, this weekend's performers, as you can see. They're the stocks that I have. I was glad Tavernier popped up with a goal today. Listen, that's all of my performers. But when you actually go back to all stocks and look at the top performing players today, you go to the midfielders as an example. Many people standing out. When Cole Palmer gets added to this, I'm buying 110%. You look at the attackers on there as well. Haaland with a brilliant weekend. Nicholas Jackson there, you can see him. 4th place so far this weekend. And Kunku there. João Pedro on there as well. Leandro Trossard and many, many others indeed. Start building your portfolio now. This is mine, as you can see. Nice amount of profit so far. Portfolio coming together well. It's an amazing platform. It's a fun platform. But more on StocksFC a little bit later. I want to start with Chelsea here. And I want to be fair and I want to be consistent. The first half was entertaining from my point of view, but there was holes all over this Chelsea team. Madueke from the beginning was dangerous. Palmer, dangerous. Jackson scored early. And I thought, okay, look how quick they were out the blocks. Fast, quick, decisive. They scored. And then for the majority of that first half, they were so poor in the possession in the middle. They were cut through too easy. There were so many chances created by Wolverhampton Wanderers, who then rightfully and fairly equalised. Then Cole Palmer scores an outrageously good goal. Great long ball from Sanchez. Brilliant first touch and play by Nico Jackson. And then Cole Palmer with one of the finishes of the season right here, right now. There may not be many better goals than that from a team perspective and finish out there. Out of this world. And then a minute or two later, Chelsea concede again. And you go in at half-time and you think Caicedo was sloppy. Enzo was being absolutely bullied in the middle. Gusto was getting torn apart. Wolves were cutting through Chelsea time and time again. The organisation, I don't think it's about the individual players at times. The setup wasn't right. The midfielders were inverting. They were being caught out of position. And it was a carbon copy of pre-season. They came out in the second half and they were just more basic. And basic equals better. Players staying in their more natural positions, quicker passes, staying in a compact sort of position and shape when they were out of possession, and then they pressed at the right times. They didn't sit back and give too much respect to Wolves. And in that second half, as I've already said, it's the most dangerous, scary version of Chelsea that we have seen in years. It was out of this world. They won the ball back high. They were decisive. Cole Palmer's creativity through the roof. People saying last week, Cole Palmer is not going to be able to deliver in this Chelsea team because it's going to be too much of a rigid system. That's just been blown out the water, I believe, in this singular game. Madueke. Now, Madueke, we know has got skill. We know Madueke has got great pace. We know that he is an entertaining wide player. When people have spoke about him being one of the best or being a star, potential, yes, but the output and delivery needs to be there. And what you saw from Noni Madueke today was absolutely out of this world. 2 goals on his weaker foot. He was clinical. He was cool, calm, collected. He had the mentality to allow his brilliant talent to flourish. And he had to today. He really had to deliver after what he put on social media last night about Wolverhampton Wanderers. A lot of players, and this for me is an indicator about him as a person, which I wasn't aware of before. I'm a rival. I don't know as much about him as you guys, Chelsea fans, watch him. But he stepped up in the adversity. It's hard to do. A lot of players would have had stinkers. A lot of players would have struggled would have felt the weight of that expectation, the boos and the noise. He shut everybody up. He shut every single Wolves fan up, and he delivered. And I just want to congratulate him because today he was amazing. All he has to, I'm not saying he has to get a hat-trick every week because that's crazy. But, you know, to put it into perspective, how good a hat-trick this is, you know, Saka hasn't scored a hat-trick in the Premier League. Rashford hasn't scored a hat-trick in the Premier League as of right now. And we know how talented and how good those two have been at different stages. Madueke here having his best performance in a Chelsea shirt, most decisive performance in a Chelsea shirt. And it's about going on to that next level now and becoming more consistent. That's all it comes down to. The speed is there. The ability is there. It's now about delivery and being impactful. Not just beating your man and overhitting a cross, beating your man and shooting wide. It's about beating your man and putting those balls into the box, scoring those goals as he did today. He's proven that he can do it. More of the same. And I want to speak about Enzo and Caicedo as well. In that first half, they were bullied and they were run through. And I tweeted words to the effect of, they just have to improve. This is so poor. And that equalizing goal from Wolves, from losing the ball, being barged off the ball, making poor tackles, I was worried about them in that second half. The changes, though, being more basic, less invert. Listen, I know why people want to invert. But until you get your defense, until you can get your defensive shape right when you lose possession after inverting, stick to your positions. Stop confusing each other. Second half, Caicedo and Enzo are excellent. Winning back the ball, their passes were accurate, they were strong, they were decisive, and they looked a really good partnership. That second half is the blueprint. And they should be sitting down on Monday morning. They might get that off to be fair, but they've got to sit down Tuesday morning and they've got to analyze with detail the first half and analyze in detail the second half. And they've got to start replicating what they did there, because that was a £200 million midfield in that second half. I don't think it's about doubting the ability of individuals. It's about the consistency. And consistency for me is more about mentality and having a system that helps you to flourish. So there's some of that that's on the manager. Some of it is on the players and their determination, their dedication, their concentration. But they were excellent in that second half. Pedro Neto, an excellent debut for him. Again, he got a nice applause when he came on, but was involved and was dangerous. João Felix on his second debut. What a finish from him. Again, the weakest part of his game is his end product and his numbers. What a way to start. If he can go on level to level from here, this Chelsea team could go places. And as I've said, I stand by my original prediction about this team and Madueke. I think it was either going to be awful or brilliant. And ironically, you saw two parts of that in today's game. Chelsea fans know they've got stuff to work on. They have to become harder to break down, concede less chances, as they did in the second half. But that second half proves it's doable. It's now about their manager ensuring that because the first half, it was like, great, you scored 2 goals. But if you keep leaking like that, you're not going anywhere as a team. That second half was amazing. And I just want to sit here and praise that, because that was excellent. And that is how Chelsea get back into the top 4. That is how Chelsea start winning trophies again. That is how Chelsea get back to their levels. That second half is the blueprint. It was phenomenal. Simple and as straightforward as that. It was phenomenal. Dangerous, potent, and worrying for all rivals. But maybe not Arsenal, Liverpool, City, because of where they are. But for everybody else that's in that kind of chasing pack, the Man Uniteds, the Tottenhams, Aston Villa, Newcastle, that is a scary performance in that second half from Chelsea. It was out of this world. It really, really was. Matt here says the space Wolves gave Chelsea was mad. Geez, but fair play, Chelsea. That was impressive. Now can you continue this performance? If so, Chelsea are looking good. Look, people will throw that at Chelsea and say, well, Wolves gave them space. And there's an element of truth to that. I think Wolves maybe got to a point in the game where they stopped respecting Chelsea enough and they afforded them too much space. But at the same time, it was about the quick, decisive passing and the quick thinking of Chelsea as well. Gav here says, good win for Chelsea. And yes, still a lot to do on the shape and defensively. Questions for our set piece coach too on that equalizer. Yeah, listen, I agree. I completely agree with you, Gav. That's something you can't ignore. I think you can celebrate the win today. I think you should focus more on the positives. Those conversations happen not later down the line. They happen after the celebrations. I'm sure Madueke will still be fuming at some of those mistakes if he is this perfectionist that we have read him to be. But if they start fixing up defensively, whew. Shout out to Chelsea away fans. They were chanting for our players when we were drawing. Home fans can learn everything. Listen, away fans are always better than home fans. They just are. And it's typically because they're typically speaking the most diehard supporters in the world. Most away fans travel the length and breadth of the country and Europe watching their team. And it's their life's work. And they're always amazing. Enzo Caicedo, second half, bossed it. Palmer, 4GA. Madueke, brilliant. Cucurella, very good. Chilwell, good, especially his passing. Felix fits in. Listen, there's nothing wrong. Everything you've said in that super chat, mate, is absolutely spot on. Chelsea's attackers are ballers. Maresca ball is what D says here. What's the agenda merchants say now? Chelsea. Can anyone explain how Joelinton didn't get sent off for that clothesline on Neto? I didn't actually see that bit. I saw the goal that was disallowed for Brentford at the end. I thought that was a disgrace because it hit him here on the arm, but that's where they measure. Remember, I've been saying this on the terrace for years. They measure offside from there. That part of your arm can make you offside above the shirt line. So how can you not score with it? That's why I've always said it's bullshit. It's either you have to be able to score with it, then you're offside with it, or you can't be offside with it. Crazy decision. Newcastle caught a bit of life there, in my opinion. Good game, though. I had it on. I just weren't watching it thoroughly. I didn't have the sound on. Noni dunked on that shit place. Wolves. Palmer, 4GA. Yeah, Palmer's just amazing. Add Osimhen to this filthy attack this week. Danger is what Dyke says. Listen, that could be very scary indeed. They said sell Noni and we don't need Felix. I think he stopped himself being sold if it was ever a thought. Once we sort our defense, we challenge. Attack is too good. Watching Felix score on his debut, I love it. And yeah, I bet you do. I'm not too sure where the panel is. Everyone's got the links. I'm not sure who is and isn't coming on today. I'm sure we've sent the right link out because Strasbourg Steve is there. So if anybody is coming on the show, get yourselves on now, people. Get yourselves backstage. Don in the comment section makes me laugh. Not in the comment section, in the group chat. Well, come on and say your piece. He says here that Noni Madueke's end product wasn't as bad as what you make out. But again, this is the thing. I didn't say it was bad. When you start using words like one of the best of out there, then I expect the output to be one of the best of. There's a difference. You're not listening. I've never said he's an awful player. Just said they've got to be end product. And I don't expect that to be hat tricks every week, by the way. That's crazy. But the amount of times he's in positions to score or create and he hasn't done it, that needs to improve before I start using words in any capacity of one of the best at X, one of the best. One of the best is top echelon. And as an attacker, there's got to be output there. So, yeah, get yourself on. It'd be good to hear from you. Jackson deserves his flowers today. Goal and brilliant link-up play all game. Chelsea need to focus on centre-backs instead of strikers this season. Yeah, I get where you're coming from when you say that. Casually bringing in Nkunku and Felix off the bench. Well, that's do you know what's interesting, see? For all the Chelsea fans saying what you're saying about my attack now, this is why you've been criticized so much when you haven't looked good, because we know you've got talent. So it goes both ways. The reason that your attack has been criticized is because you spent a lot of money on it. It's full of talent and it hasn't delivered enough. Same as the midfield. So when you have talent and it's not delivering, typically look at your league position overall to say whether you're delivering. There's criticism. If you genuinely had Ipswich level players, you wouldn't be overly criticized. Well, you wouldn't have spent 1.5 billion, but do you get my point? It works both ways. The more talented your team, the more talented your players, the more criticism when they underperform. That should be the way it always is. So for me, Enzo not performing, Gallagher's gone now, but Gallagher not performing, Enzo deserves more criticism because he's a much better football player. You know? That's just how it's always been. I don't know why it suddenly changed. Who would have thought Don was right about Madueke? But I'm gonna call Don out here. Don's got to start saying exactly what he means rather than leaving it open-ended, because Don's a clever bro. He's a good guy, but he's he's a clever guy. Because when he spoke about Madueke saying he's one of the best in the league, when we kind of bantered him, he went, no, I just meant at taking people on. What he now might try to do, I'm just throwing it out there. What he now may try to do is say, I told you how good this guy was. Well, no, you didn't make that claim. You just said he had the talent. You didn't say how good he actually was. Start speaking with some chest. I'm only messing. Listen, he's a talented lad. What he's done today is absolutely perfect. That's why I praised him, because today deserves praise. Noni scoring a Hattie means nothing in terms of point scoring. Nketiah scored 1 hat-trick. Don is getting a bit too hyped. It does mean something. This is where I disagree. This is where I agree. It does mean something. Scoring a hat-trick in the Premier League means something, especially if you keep improving from that point. All I'm saying to anyone, it's like two sides of the thing here. What are you saying here, Matt? Are you saying that Madueke isn't going to get better from this point? And when people say, oh, I think he's talented, I told you he's really talented. Yeah, but make an actual point. Is your point that he's going to go on to get to X, Y, and Z level? You can't just keep saying things that are open-ended so that you can wait for the end result to go, see, that's what I meant. That's what I meant, actually. That's not how we do things on the football terrace. Make your claim. If you're right, well done. If you're wrong, we have a bit of banter and we move on. So what are you saying here, Matt? This goes for both sides of the argument. It means something. A hat-trick always does. But you saying it means nothing in terms of point scoring, expand and give me your thoughts on Madueke and ways you get. Come on now. I'm going to call both sides of this argument out because I just want people giving actual opinions. Simple and a straightforward. I'm saying the Hattie hasn't changed my opinion. But what is your opinion? This is what I'm saying. I don't know. Actually, why is it so... Mo's backstage. Why is it so hard for people to just give a straight opinion in 2024? Why is everybody beating about the bush, bruv? Say exactly what you think. If you think Madueke is going to go on to have a bigger and better career and be a better player than Saka, say it with chest. If you think Madueke is going to fade away and in 2 years' time he's going to be playing for Wrexham in League One, say it. I'm being very extreme. Say it. Come on, people. And it's not about me wanting KJ to clip you up. I just want actual opinions from people. Come on now. Mo's here with me. Steve's here with me. Winter Surfer's here. Winter Surfer coming to you first. A huge win and a brilliant second half performance from Chelsea today, brother.
Yep, I'm wearing orange in solidarity with my Wolves brothers after their smashing today. So it's all good. But yeah, tell the two halves, Terry. I thought the only good thing in the first half was the attack. I thought the midfield and defence were woeful. I thought Caicedo in the first half kept giving away the ball, kept getting caught. And we gave away too many chances defensively, stuff like that. But I think Maresca gave him all a big kick up the backside at half time because even though it was 2-2, it was still not good enough. So he gave him a big kick up the backside, and then basically every part of the game improved dramatically. It was full control. I know they scored an offside goal and it was a banger, but apart from that, they didn't really do anything. And Noni Madueke backed up his Instagram post. So he backed his ish. He got a hat-trick.
He did.
Cole Palmer, first Chelsea player to get 3 assists in any Premier League game since Fabregas in 2016. That's how far back it's gone. His goal was sensational. João Felix's finish was great. It was just second half. I mean, talk about two contrasting halves. Second half was what it should be, and I'm glad they got. I'm glad he got them to respond because even though we're 2-2, I know Maresca wasn't happy with that first half performance because it wasn't good enough whatsoever. Too many chances for Wolves. We had chances, but too many. And I just want to say, it's like I hope that continues. Not the first half, obviously, but the second half. But yeah, it was the second half was a blitz. I think we could have scored more in that second half. I reckon it could have been a record score. I really do. But hey, I'll take 6. I'll take 7. I'm happy with 6 goals all day long. You know what I mean? We'll just take it. But there needs to be improvement. And this is where I agree with Mo. I still need a better centre-back or a leader of a centre-back in that back four. I just need it. Those two, I don't know. It's in early stages of a partnership, but at the moment, I think they need more of a steadying hand being partnered by a more, I wouldn't say even like just a better leader, I think, going forward. I don't know if we'll do it in time, but that will be our Achilles heel until it's sorted. So
I hear you on that. And as you said, I think that second half response, again, it's laid a foundation to show what Chelsea can do, what Enzo can do, what Caicedo can do. It was a hugely contrasting game from Chelsea if you look at the first and second half. Mo, what did you make of it? Obviously, we're getting a bit a stick in the group chats from the likes of Don saying that what we say now about their team and their performance. What are you saying about Chelsea today?
Here we go. People are afraid. What Enzo Maresca did today, I don't think he's going to get the flowers because people want to hate on Chelsea and you don't want to be objective. What Enzo Maresca did today is better than what Arne Slot did for Liverpool in the Ipswich game. And everyone in the group chats, everyone on Twitter, everyone came on that Football Terrace Match reaction and everything. And people said, oh my God, Arne Slot, he fixed the second half. It's fantastic. They literally fixed both aspects of the game. Going forward looked absolutely sensational, very fluid. And they didn't allow Wolves a sniff. And Gary O'Neill has the tools, and they didn't allow Wolves a sniff away from home in a tough ground. Enzo Maresca today responded to a lot of people about his tactical awareness and how he adjusts his team. Yes, the first half was a little bit ping-pong game, end-to-end game, and it was wide open. In the second half, everyone was compact. And going forward, reaching the goal from the shortest distance possible. He didn't play boring, as people say. They were very direct, Chelsea, reaching the goal, pressing. And I thought they were fantastic and magnificent. If you aren't entertained by this Chelsea second half, you have an agenda. If you aren't giving Chelsea the flowers, you have an agenda, 100%. If you're watching this half and you're saying, well, but I need to... Well, you didn't say that about Arne Slot a week ago. You were really... Everyone was glazing Arne Slot in the second half, right? This half, Chelsea was phenomenal.
Mate, you're absolutely spot on. And I think it works both sides. Anybody that's disregarding that second half is hating on Chelsea 110%. Equally, there are some people that are like, I told you how good we're going to be. Although you're ignoring the real, genuine criticism of what people have been talking about, because we saw it in the first half. And I think that the problem with the Chelsea conversation is that you've got some Chelsea fans that have become so defensive, they won't even listen to the genuine criticism, which I think holds a lot of water. Yeah. Equally, there's some people that have got such an agenda against Chelsea that when they do anything good, they can't bring themselves to say it. And I feel that that's a little bit of I don't really like that. And the Football Terrace has never been about that. Equally, people can come on and say what they want because we're not an echo chamber in that way. But I think there's so many positives for Chelsea to take from this game. There are also some negatives, but those negatives are a good thing because you can learn, because you now have some real life data. And when I say data, I mean footage of the game. I'll come back to you in a second. What I felt all through preseason is whenever you were inverting your fullbacks, whenever you got caught in possession, you had holes. First half, you're inverting, you get caught in possession, there's holes. Second half, more basic, everyone in their normal position. Wolves didn't really cut through you at all. And I think that Maresca's not got to look at those little things and said, you know what? Let's just stop the inverting. Let's just keep everybody in their positions because we look really good when we do it. And that's why it's really good that you've kind of gone through these two things today, because you've got something to work on and improve on now. And if we see more of those second half performances, this Chelsea team's going to have a very good season.
But what I did like, though, is that even with a bit of adversity, the heads didn't go down. I know the first half was a bit chaotic and stuff like that, but we were still trying to score and stuff like that. And we knew, like all last season, even when we go 1-up, as soon as the club equalised, the heads dropped down. Most saw it. The heads was completely dropped, and our game would completely just turn like that. And like I said, he obviously gave him a massive kick up the backside in half time and wanted improvements, because even Caicedo was better in that second half than he was the first half. The first half, he was
phenomenal. Better.
Yeah. Second half, he was
phenomenal, bro.
Second half, they were pressing so high. I mean, Enzo, I don't know if everyone can criticize Enzo even that second half, because I know if you're going to criticize Enzo, you have got a massive agenda still, because he played very well. He was tackling even when Caicedo went off.
You can't pick a player second half and say, this is the guy. No. Everyone, Enzo Fernandez connected most of his passes, defended all right, ran around. Even when Josbury all came on the pitch, the midfield still looked compact. So we have to give flowers to the coach and the players. Bro,
He did also one
people
other thing that
be
was
objective at some point. People have to be
no,
objective.
He did.
You don't
he did
have to be
another
a
thing.
polar extreme, bro. You don't
No,
have
but
to. You can say your opinion. No one is catching you out.
No, you're
he
spot
did.
on.
He did another great thing as well. He took Mudryk off at halftime and put Neto on. He took Mudryk off at halftime.
He did. And Maresca learned from his mistakes in the first week. You know, I don't. It's not about. I think right now some people getting fixated on what's his plan for Madueke. What's his plan for Nkunku? Doesn't matter right now. It doesn't matter right now. It's a long season ahead, lots of games to come. But what you did see is that, you know, Enzo got played deeper. He put wingers on the wing. He put Palmer in the 10. And it was a really good reaction from him. And you are right in what you're saying, Mo. This is a match reaction to this game. What was good in this game, what was bad in this game, and what they can take moving forward. Too often when it comes to the match reaction shows, everybody wants to go into sort of a far more, it's more of a microcosm of what's going on because you're talking about the game. Sometimes the larger scale conversations come into it. But I think what these Chelsea players have shown today is that they've got the ability to be that good. It's now about whether they're good enough mentally to be consistent, because consistency is not about ability. Consistency is about mentality. It's everybody. If we look at us as YouTubers, everybody can make a good video every now and then, but do you have the mentality to make that content 3 times a day, 6-7 days a week, 360 odd days a year? That's mentality, not ability. Because you made a good thumbnail, you made some good content, you did great editing, but can you keep doing that as an example? And that is what these Chelsea players, I think, have shown today, is they have the ability to be devastating. Wolves away is a hard place to go. They're a decent team, Wolves. We saw how well they set up against Arsenal last week and made it very difficult for Arsenal. We know it's hard. It's now about, and no, I'm not expecting what you saw in the second half every game for Chelsea. There's going to be bumps in the road. I'm not being stupid about it. But now it's about, can they maintain that? I'm going to go to Steve in a minute.
Palace next week,
Palace,
Palace next week at home, so that's important.
Kieran's here. What you saying, bro, as a Chelsea fan?
Yeah, I'm happy. The first half now was a bit end to end. It was a bit chaotic, but I think we, as he says, I think Andrew hit the nail on the head there. Last year we would have dropped our heads and probably would have conceded 3 and 4 in the first 10-15 minutes into the second half, but we kept our heads, and I think Levi Caldwell was really, really good. No one's given him a show. I think it's some of his passing from the back was excellent. He put in some great blocks as well. But I think you hit the nail on the head also. I think football is a simple game sometimes. You just have to go back to basics. Like, look at Palmer's goal. It was just a long ball from Sanchez, a great flick from Jackson, 3 touches and there's a goal. It doesn't have to be 42 passes, 43 passes to get a goal. Sometimes it can just be simple. So, but overall, I think the performance in the second half, I think Enzo Fernandez deserves a lot of credit as well. I think and Casado, I think the two of them were excellent in the second half. They controlled the midfield. And I'm just delighted that Felix came on and scored. He, I kind of think he changed the game as well. I think he brought more, not flair, but more, just a more attack intent. I think he was brilliant. I thought Neto was excellent as well. I'm glad he took Mudryk off because Mudryk was, again, a 5 out of 10. So I think we go back to our base. I think we have our wingers. I think Neto and Madueke are definitely our 2 wingers to start.
Yeah, those 2 together, like, frightening. It could be absolutely frightening.
And they're quick. And I think we cannot let Madueke leave in the last week of the window. I think he's going to be a very, very important player for us.
Yeah, that would actually prove
Nico Jackson as well, Terry. Nico Jackson the second half, his hold up play, those flicks. He started most of those attacks.
Yeah, some of his flicks were excellent.
And he flicked them on. He had a great game.
Yeah, he had
his header as well. His header in the first half was good.
The problem for Nico Jackson today is that there were so many good performances. You end up, we know in spaces, like Hassam's not here today, but in spaces back in the day when Hassam used to run all those spaces, and there was always the Gerrard Scholes debate, and they turn around and he turned around and always talk about like, well, Scholes wasn't even your most influential player. Now I'm not comparing Scholes and Nico Jackson. Jackson was probably an 8.5 to 9 out of 10 today. He was like an 8.5 to 9 out of 10 today. But because you had 3 or 4 others that just did better, you can be brilliant but go under the radar. That's what happens when teams are great. And obviously Scholes' example is that on a much more consistent, longer serving basis. You could be an 8.5, 9 out of 10, but not get noticed because there's 5 10s on the pitch. And that's what happened to Nico. That's what happened to Nico Jackson today. Is you had so many top performances that you almost forget how good he was as well. I agree.
That happened to
I still
Casemiro a lot.
I still think they need. God, I still think if this team has a top striker better than Nico Jackson, they will go levels. If they
That's what I mean.
work out the money and
Mo,
go
I
and
don't
get
want-
Osimhen, we are going in for a different level for this Chelsea team. Neto, Madueke, Palmer behind them, Caicedo, Lavia, whoever gonna play with Osimhen up top. I think they go a different level, even
Mo's right.
much better
Mo's
than
right.
what Jackson offers.
Mo's right, because this shouldn't distract. Even though we scored 6, it shouldn't take people in the Chelsea fan base shouldn't go, we don't need a striker. They shouldn't do that. We do need a striker. We do need a striker. Jackson does well, but he's going to miss more than he scores this season. We all know that, right? We need someone who Haaland against us last week, who had 3 touches and only scored 1 goal. Do you know what I mean? We need someone like that to make the difference. If we get Osimhen, that you're right, it could take us to a different level. But
see, the thing is about Jackson as well. Some weeks he can be a 7, something 8, 9, but
he's
not consistent enough. It's
one of the things I wanted to touch on. I know one of the things I wanted to touch on before that. People today saw Madueke score 3 goals, but there is an extra thing. Madueke scored 3 goals, 2 of them with his right foot.
Yes,
not a lot of wingers do this. Madueke today showed us what Don is saying in the group chat. He can improve. The problem is Don, as Terry said, he's like, I see the talent. I see Madueke's talent. And Madueke today, 2 goals with the right foot, is not a lot of wingers do this. Mohamed Salah does this sometimes. Not a lot of wingers have the confidence and the ability to shoot with their weaker foot in front of the goal, especially when it was 2-2. Didn't he score the 3rd goal? When it was 2-2, he's the one who scored. People forget that you need the winger to be diverse, and he was very, very diverse today. Crosses sometimes, right foot. We have to give him the flowers today.
Of course, you have to give him flowers. 100%.
Took the chance. He took the chance that was offered to him, and he told Maresca, "I'm starting. You're not shifting me. I'm starting next game because I am someone who can offer you goals and offer you something else." Right? He's different than Palmer, different than anybody. He's different than Neto. He's a direct winger that wants to go to the goal and score, which is he did today, even with the weaker foot.
Yeah,
he did it against Servette.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Ciaran, you were going to say something?
Yeah, it's just one thing about Noni: consistency. That's all it is. Consistency. Can he do it on a week out, weekend basis? Can he do it on a every single weekend against good, solid teams, against Liverpool, against Man United, so on the big 6? Can he do that? I think he has the ability. But I do think obviously managers question his attitude sometimes, and all that stuff. So,
but I agree. I look at it this. I think it's how people view. And also, I just want to say, the Don is in the group chat. He keeps saying to me that we keep asking the same questions to him. In case you're watching, I'm saying this. I want to be as genuine to you, mate, as I can be. I honestly am asking you, what question are you talking about? Because I don't know what you mean. I'm not trying to even be funny. I want to know what. Maybe you'll say it, and I go, "Oh, right, okay." But I agree. I just view football again. He's not a baby. He's coming up 23, so he's not an 18-year-old. No. Ability is key, but in the cold hard light of day, it's easier to get from attackers than it is other positions. But I need to see delivery. I need to see output on a consistent level. When people start talking about one of the best at this and one of the best in the league at that and one of the best, beating your man and having almost nothing at the end of it, for me in football, is completely and utterly irrelevant. It's like being able to bob and weave. It's like being able to do rope-a-dope like Muhammad Ali, but when you throw the punch, it's like being hit by a pillow. It doesn't matter. And for me, what Madueke showed today is different. And do you know what was really funny? He scored a lot of those, especially his first goal. It was all just about basic. It was a little shoulder drop, one step over, one little move, boom, hit the ball, pass the ball. Sometimes you don't need, less is more. He was so good today. And all I've got is praise for him today. And if he plays like this on a consistent basis, all you're going to see me do is praise the man, because that was quality.
I think his consistency will help with the better players around him, because he's not going to be the main guy. Do you know what I mean? So he'll be there. If he just puts himself as an actual finisher instead of a creator, I think he'll be better that way. You know what I mean?
I agree. I want to jump to some of these super chats here. First one says, wait, but Don Hussam said the team was average. He's not here. Well, there we go. Weren't average today. Chelsea deserve credit, but we can't ignore the Wolves defending. The space Madueke got today. I think any half-decent winger scores 2 or 3. What do you make of that, Steve, as a kind of neutral to this?
I mean, like, yeah, but at the same time, what? So what? What are we asking Wolves to be defensively better than they showed today? Like, what happened? Happened. Chelsea took advantage. Like, I get it, pointing it out, but like, for me, it's a hollow point or a moot point. Like, yeah, Wolves were open, but Chelsea took advantage. I've seen Timo Werner miss sitters for Chelsea in the past.
No, yeah, exactly.
Morata has missed some sitters. Like, we can go down the list of.
But I agree.
And Nori was on the yellow card as well. Nori on the yellow card for the first half as well.
Yeah. And if you go back, if you go look at some games, if you go back and look at some other games already from this season, if Man United take those 2 early chances against Fulham that Bruno should have scored, we could have won 4-5-6-0 because the game. This is the problem. You know, when people, it's a cliche, but it's true. Goals change games. Yeah. So if Madueke doesn't get that shot off that slightly deflects and goes in, if he does 3 or 4 step overs, does a spin, and then tries to cross it with a Rabona and it goes out for a goal kick, maybe Wolves win the game, but he doesn't. He scores. Then Wolves open up a little bit more to get back in the game. 2 quick clinical passes later, boom, it's 4-2, and the game's almost over. So, yes, I understand what this is saying, but that defending was forced due to Chelsea being clinical in the first place, and I don't think that should be ignored.
No, you're right.
This Cole Palmer's passing today, it was very, very good. Colwell, sorry, not Cole Palmer. Defense needs to be better, but what a game. Come on. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Nelson is on par with Madueke. Oh, stop.
Reece Nelson is a championship caliber winger. Madueke is a Champions League caliber winger. I've liked Madueke. Thierry, you want me to state a claim about Madueke? Here we go. I've been a fan of Madueke since he was at PSV, right? And I think he has shown over his career to have the talent, definitely have like a UCL caliber player. Now he just needs to show it. But I think he can definitely be a player that can get lots and lots of goals and assists for Chelsea. Maybe not as the starter, but someone like I don't know, Pedro. When Pedro was at Chelsea, wasn't a lockdown starter, but a very good player, or like a Willian. Like he can definitely play that role. I just wish he was at Newcastle. That's also what it is. He would start at
listen, I'll also respond to this and say, look, it depends on the conversation people have. So I was kind of responding to what Don just said to me in the group chat as well. Oh, what a counter-attack by Liverpool. What's Diaz going to do? Is he going to finish it? Oh, he does. What a goal. Oh, my days. What a goal from Liverpool.
You're ahead of me, and you must just ruin the moment.
Sorry, yeah, I'm watching it on actual where I am now doing these streams.
You're just throwing the moment.
I don't care. I'm watching it on actual TV, but yeah, it's
we're not Liverpool fans.
It's one of those things for me. So this is kind of response to this super chat and to Don. When people say you make out like Donna said to me, you make out like he's
that's a good finish.
Output's bad. His output's better than you make it out to be. That's because you say things, Don, like you bring up Bukayo Saka in the conversations. Now, I wouldn't put Madueke on Saka or Foden's level right now. I'm not talking ability or dribbling ability or skill or anything like that. I'm talking about consistency and delivery, because that's the most important part of a professional footballer. Mentioning Saka's name right now, mentioning, I don't know,
Anthony Gordon. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just Mahrez. His name was mentioning anybody that's been around 2, 3, 4, 5, 6+ years who's been consistently good. I think he's wrong, because he has to be consistent to get on that level. Yes. Equally, in the other breath, Madueke is a level above Nelson. Nelson does not impact games, doesn't even do the bits. No. When Madueke has a bad game, he's still doing more, typically speaking, than Nelson.
He doesn't even play.
We have to be fair in this. If Chelsea sign Osimhen, the Prem has a problem, is what Kirby says.
Can you clarify? Can you clarify what you mean by this?
Clarify that.
Can you clarify what you mean?
Madueke equals the new Theo Wilcock. That's his level. I mean, what I'll say about that is that's still better than Reece Nelson. I'm just putting that out there. That's still better than Reece Nelson. Palmer clapped off by Wolves fans. I cried with joy. Yeah, he's quality. He's quality.
That finish is just
at last. Harmony, fluency, teamwork. Our bench makes me dribble. Where's my man Don? Don's actually just literally, as you say that, Don's here. Literally, just here.
I've been waiting for you, Terry, because I don't know why you're trying to make it out now as if I've compared Madueke to Saka. All I said is one of my other boys now have a hat-trick before Bukayo. That is a fact, bro. That is a fact. I didn't say Madueke's got a better end product than Saka. I didn't say Madueke's better shooting than Saka. That's never been mentioned once. Every single time we speak about Madueke, I always tell you the same thing. He's very good at taking on his man, but he needs to improve his end product. But what I always tell you at the same time is from the beginning of his career at Chelsea, in comparison to now, it's improved. But you lot talk about it as if it's still shit. That's my point.
Okay.
This has got nothing to do with Bukayo, bro. This has got nothing to do with Saka, bro.
Well, the reason. Okay, so the reason that Saka's name's been mentioned is because you brought it into the conversation. So I wouldn't have mentioned Bukayo Saka
before him. That's why.
I wouldn't have mentioned Bukayo Saka unless you brought it up, Don. So you brought Saka into the conversation.
No, but you're trying to change the context of what I said.
Don. Can you agree with me that you brought Saka into the conversation, not me?
Yeah, because Saka hasn't scored a hat-trick, whereas Madueke has. That's why.
And I asked you why you would mention that.
And I explained to you why. I said to you, because you lot talk about him as if his end product is absolutely shocking when it's actually improving. That's got nothing to do. That's got nothing to do.
Again, so like I've already said, when I talk about Madueke, when I hear him, and this wasn't at you, I'm talking generally speaking here. When I see people comparing him to other top wingers in the league, in comparison, absolutely, his end product is shocking in comparison to those individuals that I've been consistent at doing it as an example. But at the same time, I think you're going over the top that everybody sits here and just says Madueke's crap and he's rubbish and there isn't anything good about him. Well, that is what you've just said. You just
that's how you guys say shit. You lot aren't self-aware to how you act. This is the thing. I always come on here and I'm fighting battles as if what I'm watching is
Don,
fake.
But nobody. But then I haven't ever said I've never used the words about Madueke that anything about him is shit. I don't believe
you
I
just
have.
tried to say that I used him and compared him to Saka when that's never left my mouth, bro. But anyway, let's talk.
But you did. But you
just did. I said he has scored a hat-trick. That is a fact, bro. Whether you like it or not, Mo, he has scored a hat-trick before Saka. Whether you like it or not, that is a fact. No. Right? So don't try to change the context. Don't try to change the context of our minute.
If I tell Terry tomorrow, Don, if I tell Terry tomorrow, my car reached the end line before your car. That's a fact. If that happens, that has to point to something.
And I've answered it already. I've told you that his end product is not as bad as what people make out. If Terry doesn't think it's that bad, fair enough. But I hear it on the terrace all the time. Oh, Madueke beats his man. What does he do after? I've heard Terry saying that as well. You know what I'm trying to say? But now you're trying to backtrack.
It was only a couple of games ago where I saw him beat loads of people and put crosses out for throw-ins.
Yeah,
that criticism is fair at the time, and this is the problem. When it's a match reaction, if next game Madueke has 3 chances to score and misses, I will criticize him. That doesn't make my praise today hypocritical because it's a microcosm. It's talking about. Hang on, please let me finish. It's talking about that individual game. So I have absolutely at times said that the end product today was awful from him. I've also spoken about the fact that for him to go into that echelon of being the best at anything in the league, being the best at getting past somebody with low end product, I will always push back when words like one of the best or the best or one of the best. But again, for me,
it's the best at taking on his man because he is.
But what I said is this: that for me is irrelevant until there is consistent end product.
Yeah,
and that's not saying that. Yeah, exactly. And I'm praising him. I'm being consistent. So you're calling me out for me being consistent. That's crazy.
No, bro, I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out because you tried to change the context of what I said. I didn't change any context whatsoever.
Moa just said it. If I make a claim and I go, I don't know, someone.
I've explained it already.
Hang on a minute. But you're saying you've explained it. But I still think what you do, and you are clever with this.
That's what it is. Because you've not about.
It's not about not. No one has disputed the fact that you have put in, but I like to know what you're alluding to and why you've used what you haven't answered. No, what you haven't told us is why did you use Saka?
Bro, listen, you already know me. I'm a shameless brother. You know what I'm trying to say? In the second season.
So there we go. It's because you're being shameless and you're calling us out for it. You come on here with all that attitude and then you admit you were being shameless. Well done,
Terry, you know what I mean by shameless bag, Terry. You've known me long enough, yeah?
Cool.
But today, bro, listen, that first half.
Why get angry when I ask?
Bro, I'm not getting angry yet. I'm just...
You came on fuming, bruv.
Bro, because you're trying to change the context of how I meant it, Terry. But
no, you just admitted you did it to be shameless. That's not changing your context.
Yeah.
You just did it. No,
In a
bro,
game of poker, you just showed all your cards, bro.
bro, no. Terry's moving like I'm comparing him and Saka's end product. That's not my point. My point was that his end. My point, Steve, was that his end product is not as bad as what people say. That is my point. You get?
I agree.
That's got nothing to do with Saka. That's got nothing to do with Saka. All I did with Saka, I was being cheeky, of course, because it's true. It's true. But anyway, as I was saying, bro, in the first half, bro, it felt like Poch was managing us. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. In that first half, we couldn't get control of the ball. Caicedo was absolutely stinking out the place. You know, and when I did my preview, I was hoping that he would have at least a pivot because Wolves play a 4-2-3-1 and their midfield is very physical. One thing about Wolves on that transition, bro, they will run at you, and that's what we kept seeing today. You know what I'm trying to say? And I was hoping that in the second half we'll see a big change because people were complaining about the structure. I was looking at the personnel more. You know, before the game, I said, bro, we've got more than enough, Terry, to beat these guys. We have more than enough quality. I saw people crying about Lavia. Cool. I didn't want Lavia injured, but if we need Lavia to win that game, we're a shambles, bro. Put it that way. You know what I'm trying to say? But in the second half, straight away, bro, I could see the intensity. You know, Caicedo was doing the simple things a lot better. In between the lines, Colwell today, yeah? If it wasn't for Madueke and Palmer, he would be my man of the match. He was brilliant today. The passing in between the lines, he made some vital blocks in the first half as well. You can clearly see him and Fofana are now building a little bit of a relationship. Not to say that it's up there, but they're learning. They're now learning to play together, which is what I want to be seeing. We kept seeing too many chopping and changing at the back last season. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But in between the lines, Terry, yeah, isolating the fullbacks time and time again. And that's what I was telling you about Maresco when I was watching Leicester games back. Mavididi and Fatal, they kept isolating their fullbacks. And that's what I'll see Madueke doing. And that's what I'll see Neto doing. And for once, Madueke wanted to use his right foot. He scored 2 goals with his right foot today, bro. Do you know how crazy that is? 3 in 2 games. And usually with Madueke, he's very predictable, Terry, because he'll cut in on his left and try bend it. That's predictable. He needs to have variety in his game. Like Neto, he plays with his left, he plays with his right. You don't know what he's going to do.
Son at Spurs is 2-footed. The finish yesterday against Everton, he can finish with the left or right. Yeah.
Exactly. And that was very good to see from Madueke. You know, I thought Palmer was poor in the first half, very laxy-daisy. In the second half,
goal was beautiful.
Yeah, very, very good goal from him. But even so, you know, he was very laxy-daisy. Jackson, again, I keep telling people, him and Palmer have a very good relationship. You know, Palmer doesn't get a lot of his GA without Jackson last season. And once again, he got an assist for Palmer for his goal, you know. But in the second half, it goes to show exactly why I like Palmer centrally, bro. Because the clear-cut chances he creates for our players are A1, yeah? Those chances he gave to Madueke, if you miss that, you're a joke, man. Yeah, he doesn't do some iffy little pass where it's too heavy. He just puts it on the plate for you to just bury it, right?
Yes, the
and that's why I'm looking at the likes of Osimhen. If you bring Osimhen into the team with Palmer creating for him like that, he is going to be absolutely yamming off week after week, bro. Yeah, because Jackson's not a great finisher, but Palmer helped him get 15 goals because of how he creates for him, bro. He puts it on the plate for him. You know what I'm trying to say? Enzo in the second half.
I agree.
Yeah, Enzo in the second half. Listen, captain performance. Yeah, I see you lot love to cook Enzo and whatnot, but today he was all over the pitch, bro. Yeah, making things happen, dictating the game. In the first half, he wasn't really getting involved in the build-up because Caicedo wasn't progressing anything. But in the second half, I thought he was very good. And when Caicedo came off, he just carried on playing that role in the midfield as well, you know? So, bro, listen, 6 goals scored today. We had less XG than Wolves, which shows that we were very clinical. That's what I want, Terry. Because this week I'm seeing United missing more chances. Like you're saying, goals change games. Last season, I kept telling you, lot, we missed this chance, we missed that chance. If we scored, the game's completely different. And that's what we did today, bro. Very, very good in front of goal, you know? But listen, the work don't stop. The work don't stop. Yeah, because next game, we might not even see the system. He might go to a 4-3-3. He might go to a 4-2-3-1. But end of the day, it builds chemistry in the team and hopefully builds a little bit more cohesion. Yeah. And these guys need to keep learning as a team, Terry. You know what I'm trying to say?
No,
very good performance, though. Very good performance in the second half.
It was, and that's very much what I think everybody on the show has alluded to. But this also goes to show that the criticism of players in the past, like Enzo, is very justifiable because that performance from him and Caicedo together demonstrates that all those other games where we were told, no, he was really good today. He wasn't. Otherwise, you'd have seen the Chelsea control the midfield as you saw today. And I think that's when it's on these moments when you realize the level of inconsistency from individuals, but it's about, as you say, the system and the players coming together and then growing that mental strength. And I think Andrew pulled up on this earlier, which was so true. When you did go through some adversity, you didn't allow your heads to drop. You carried on going. And you're going to lose games this season when things
Yeah.
go wrong as well still, but it's what was the performance like after those mistakes, because it's going to take time to grow. But I think, as you say, barring Mudryk, because he didn't get the chance to, because he was taken off, everybody improved in that second half and made a massive statement.
Let me say something. Maresca has to get his props today, yeah? Because last season, you've said already, going into the second half, we were shocking last year, bro. We would have probably been even worse than what we saw in the first half. Straight away, Mudryk wasn't good enough. You, my friend, are coming off. You get it? Caicedo, he took him off at the right time. He brought on Vega. You know, the in-game management today was good, and it was very clear that he shouted at these guys at halftime, bro. Yeah, to make them fix up, because it was a much better performance.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree with you. Jimmy here says sometimes people look at the wrong players to blame for defensive issues. If the midfield isn't screening the defense, the CBs always look terrible. This is true. This is very, very true indeed. If you've got, that's why the midfield is so important to a team. I agree.
Just to add to that as well, in the first half, Wolves were just playing this one ball, Terry, in between Enzo and Caicedo, and straight away our defense are just, you know, they just look like they're just vulnerable. That's the way you got to watch the game and realize that the midfield wasn't good enough in the first half, bro. Yeah. It wasn't.
By the way, I wouldn't believe that report that Osimhen's asking for 500k. I think it's
that's rubbish. That's rubbish.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing that. Big up, guys. Saying Noni or any player must be consistent in every game is unfair take again, but no one is stating that he has to score a hat-trick every single game, and
it isn't score every game.
Yeah, it's about the performance levels. You can still be dangerous, you can still create chances. I would expect a winger that has the skill and the pace that he has to at least beat his fullback 2 or 3 times a game and put a decent ball into the box. I don't think that is
with his ability, he should make an impact in some sort. Like he has the ability to score a goal or an assist every match. He has that ability, but is his attitude right every single match? I'm not too sure. Hopefully now that he needs a good kick up the backside, and hopefully he'll start performing.
This is what we call the barrister. You know what I'm saying? That's Saka's barrister right there. I knew I was waiting for that. In the Prem, he's got 0 hat-tricks, just like Rashford.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that they haven't got hat-tricks.
Bro, we're both. But this is the thing with me and Don. People don't realize we're both from East London, and I don't know how it works for everybody else's, but in East London, most talking is done without saying what you actually mean. So I can read between the lines with Don that he's making big statements without saying the words. And then when he goes, I didn't actually say that though, Terry. It's like, brother, you also know I'm from the same place as you. That's how we all fucking operate, bruv. No one actually says anything.
Everyone's against us right now. The media want to pile it on us. We have to back ourselves at times. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why I'm here in my new kit right now.
Don's logic is Eddie Nketiah is better than Saka. Eddie Nketiah has got a Premier League hat-trick to be fair. Who did he get? Did he get that against Chelsea?
No, it's against Sheffield United. I think
Sheffield United. Last season, I know he scored. I think he scored 2 against you.
He got 2 against us, and then they gave him 100k a week after. That's how he got his
Saka has a hat-trick. No, I don't think he does in the Premier League. I don't know. Get him, Don. Headbam. Oh, Trent, he scored free kick. Sorry to ruin that for you, Mo. It's early on to say Madueke is better than. Is it too early on to say Madueke is better than Haaland?
Sorry, if we still sell Madueke, I'm gonna lose my shit, bro.
Honestly. Bro, I want him at Newcastle, but there's no chance of that.
I was gonna say that earlier. That if you know, like people question the way your clubs run, if you sell Madueke now, it is absolutely justifiable for anyone to question the running of your football club.
Facts.
It would not make sense to do that now. Maresca is better than Arteta, is what Io says here. But there we go. Look, I want to shout out again to our title sponsors of the show today. If you haven't started building your portfolio on StocksFC yet, my question to you is, where the hell have you been and what have you been doing? It is available all over the world as well. So if you are interested, as I always say to people, though, make sure you. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong thing. The page I've just tried to share there. Where's it gone? Why can't I find it on my screen? There it is. There it is. Make sure you guys use your disposable income to do it. This is one of the best pages you can use on here because it shows you the players who have had the biggest changes in the last 24 hours there. People buying Ciaran Trippier stock, as you can see, and many others. But this is my favorite part of the platform. This shows you the whole entire weekend. 3,897 points have been awarded to players. If I just go to my stock only, 588 of that has come to me. I'm very, very happy with the levels. We've got there Trent already killing it. He must have got the assist for that goal or been heavily involved, but there he is. Konate as well, both doing very, very well indeed. But look at that. I've got 500 of those points. I'm going to have a great weekend of rewards. Remember, everybody, as well, that at the moment, we're going to be giving away a signed and framed shirt from Erling Haaland. You're going to go into the prize draw. Somebody from the Football Terrace did win the signed Trent Alexander-Arnold ball. You should have heard back about that by now. So scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link below if you really are going to put your money where your mouth is when it comes to buying stock in players. And there's some really big names coming onto the platform soon as well. That's what I'm saving some of my budget for as well, because some of them are going to be earning money. Look, I want to thank everybody that has tuned in to the show today. We're back live after Liverpool versus Brentford, so make sure you're back with us right here. And it's really good to see a lot of Chelsea fans haven't been on the terrace for a while. I've seen loads of you back on the show again. It's genuinely nice to see you all back here repping your club. I always say that people think we've always Arsenal. I still think we've got more Chelsea followers on the terrace than we do Arsenal. They've just been dormant. Dormant, genuinely. So welcome back to a lot of you. Congratulations for your win. Blue here says, big up, Don. The terrace panel always tries to make you look delusional, but your analyst is always on point. Up the Chelsea.
Time will tell, man. Most of my takes, time will tell, bro. You know what I'm saying? Big yourself up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he did once upon a time say that people are queuing up outside Stamford Bridge just to watch Palmer, but they're not Chelsea fans. So he has had some mad ones as well, but we all have. But there we go. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, I want to say a big thank you to each and every single one of you. We'll see you again in about an hour or so. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.